I was scrolling through Instagram not that long ago, and I stumbled upon this comic right here. This is her Instagram page. Her name is Artsbylauren, and the comic is called I've Met Someone. It's a pretty cool marketing approach to a comic, a web series. And but first, I'm going to talk about what it's about. It's about her experiences as as a lesbian woman and her crushes, her experiences in high school, and her relationship with an online person. And I'm not gonna spoil anything, but unfortunately, most of the comic chapter pages are right here. So if you see something, I apologize. But I just wanted you to see kind of like what the art style looked like. It's very appealing. And the reason why I'm bringing this comic to attention because it's a very, like I said, it's a very interesting marketing approach to a comic. I've never seen anything like this. I've only seen it one other time, but I don't know the name of that comic series, and it's very similar to this where it's representing a relationship from the beginning and end. But unfortunately, this is the only example I can give. I don't know the name of the other comic that I'm referring to. But anyways, I'm detracting a lot. What makes this comic so interesting is it presents itself as it's happening in real time. It is so if you go through each comic page, you would see her post, and it would seem like it's happening in real time. Of course, that's not realistic when you really think about it. How can somebody draw their life as it's happening? But it's presented so authentically and so real in these posts that I was almost fooled into thinking that, yeah, this is happening in real time. And you could see a lot of the comments in her page saying, hey, is this happening in real time? So much so that if you go up to her profile page in the very top, right here, she has a link tree that I have loaded up here. It answers that very question. Is this a true story or is this fiction? I've Met Someone is a mix of fiction and nonfiction because of the added story elements. Please consider it fiction overall. The story events that inspired the story happened on a different timeline. The names and the people involved in the story have been altered, and some events were added for dramatic effect. Eventually, I'll make something that outlines what is fact versus fiction and probably a bonus read once the story is complete. Are the events of the story happening in real time? No, nothing in the story is happening in real time. The most recent event that was incorporated into the story happened a little over a year ago. Events that inspired the story happened anywhere from 1 to 10 years ago. However, I've Met Someone is purposely written to feel current. And you could read this on Tapas or Webtoons and on Instagram, which is where I read it. But yeah, I was going to talk about this in my previous video about Denchi Otoko because it's a very interesting thing. I think this is the start of maybe a new webcomic phenomenon where we have these great artists telling very personable, very relatable stories about something that's maybe based on their life, but they're presented in a way that sounds like it's current. It reminds me a lot of an ARG, kind of like a narrative that's told through social media, kind of like this is an example, The Sun Vanished, where this particular author is posting kind of like a narrative that the sun vanished, and some people bought it. Some people obviously know it's fake by now, but it's a very interesting read, and much like that, I feel it's very similar to this artist, Lauren. And I just have to say props and kudos because for a good minute I was fooled. I thought that this was happening in real time, but I mean, obviously, she's forthright about her intentions about the comic, so commendable. I mean, it's really commendable to put something very personal as something about your relationship. Uh, Assumingly, this is not a successful relationship. I mean, you could sort of tell, but it's ballsy, you know. It makes you think of the possibilities what other artists can do, when it comes to this type of marketing approach. And I thought it was just really interesting to share. Um, Please let me know in the comments down below if you know any comics that are very similar to this, where there's an artist who's kind of portraying a comic as if it's happening in real time. I think it's very interesting. Um, I personally have not seen it that many times. Like I said, I've only seen it one other time, so this is two now, two for two. If I see three, it's definitely a trend, and it's interesting. I keep saying that. I don't know what else to say. Um, I guess I'm just excited to read how the story unfolds, and um, good job for this artist, because definitely I know that a lot of people find it an enticing approach. It's an enticing story to begin with, but the added effect that, oh, it's not happening in real time, just kind of puts the intrigue factor even more. Um, then, all right, that's pretty much all I wanted to share. You could drop down the menu for the description on this video so you can see all my social medias. Subscribe if you want to see some more content, and I'll be looking forward to the next video. Take care, guys.